YouTube, what's good? It's your boy, Paulus Harris, aka Crazy Uncle. And if it's your first time tuning in, go ahead, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell. Uh, every time I post up new content. I'm sitting up here right now, waiting on my partner, so we can actually really talk about a few things. So, soon as we soon as he come on, then we'll go ahead and we'll get this show started. For those of y'all that don't know, right, Jerry Springer uh, died today. He was 79, so I'm not actually really gonna go into no great detail about that. But you know, people live, people die, so hey, it is what it is, right? So it's a lot of other stuff going on in the news. And like I said, I'm sitting up here watching this stuff now about Jamie Foxx. So and I think with my whole deal is like the whole deal with Jamie Foxx, right? I'm just trying to figure out, okay, I'm just like, okay, if a person goes, if a person's in the hospital, whether you're a doggone celebrity or not, why, you know, why be so hush hush about it, right? Shit, if you had a stroke, you put it out there. If you had a heart attack, whatever the case may be, right? And so there's a lot of stuff out there, saying that people was trying to kill him. They tried to say that P Diddy had something to do with with what happened to Jamie Foxx. But I'm just looking at it like this: unless Jamie got some real serious evidence that actually really just destroy P Diddy's career, then why would P Diddy or whatever the fuck did he call himself these days, you know, why would that even be, you know, why would P Diddy even bother with that? Now, I will say this much, people in the industry, hey, look, this is what the fuck they do, right? And just like I say, I'll probably go on here and I'll watch the whole gematria thing about it. But other than that, it's just hey, just it is what it is. My whole deal is that I'm not gonna sit up here and deny to say that Jamie Foxx is not in the hospital, right? But I will look at the simple fact that if they didn't want nobody to know anything about it, right, then they could have just told everybody, hey, look, y'all shut the fuck up about this. We're gonna keep this hush hush as possible. And hey, it is what it is. What's good? Are you there? Hold on.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you now.
Beautiful.
So,
1,300 hours here on the East Coast, 12 o'clock your time.
oh yeah. So, first things first. We already know about what happened with both Tucker Carlson and Don Lemon, right? And uh, this whole thing that Fox had to pay $787.5 million to Dominion, right? And anything else that's out there, But I'm just trying to look at. I'm just because right now everybody's like this is speculating why Fox News fired Carlson, Tucker Carlson, and uh, why CNN fired Don Lemon. Now as far as like Tucker Carlson goes, I kind of, again, it's just speculation. I can actually really some of the stuff that he says, right? I'm actually, I'm actually like, really surprised that he lasted that long at Fox, right? But then as far as like Don Lemon goes, they was actually like really saying that because he was on prime time, then the ratings was going out, so they moved him up to the morning, uh, up to a morning slot, and he still wasn't doing all that good. So that so and for the most part, that could be like just a production work performance factor. They were just like, hey, look, you're not bringing in the numbers, right? And then some of the stuff that you said, which for the most part, I really didn't see nothing wrong with what he said. When he said that one lady that was said she was he said that she was past her prime. But the thing about it though, he was just saying, hey, look, I'm just bringing up facts, bringing up statistics, what have you. This is because he actually said, look, this is not me saying this. This is these other people saying it, right? So, but in our case, I just think if you're gonna fire somebody, right? And again, this is just speculation. At least, you know, have some type of like reasoning why that you're gonna fire this guy after 17 years working for that company. So, hey, it is what it is. So, what you got to say about all this?
Well, I think it becomes obvious that the mainstream media is it's a dinosaur. It's
Yeah,
blockbuster. It's leaving, and when you add a lawsuit on top of it, they're not
yeah,
really in the truth telling business. They're in the selling advertisement business. So we have to have a product in order to sell advertisement. It's not the other way around at
yeah,
either company. CNN was bought by another company and they wanted to be more down the line. They wanted contracts with all the airports, all the hospitals, blah, 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 to be playing. And it needed to be more down the middle, not so controversial. And the same goes for Fox News because no one is really going to their news for that. You watch your local news or you go online and find what you need. So the market's changing. And I think that had a lot to do with it. And is there something so controversial, just like with the Anheuser Busch, the Bud Light came with a transgender individual on it. It's not about the cost; it's about the bottom line. At the end of the day, it's a business. I think that's where the root starts.
yeah. Because they lost what they. I think they lost. I want to say like 16 billion in sales since that. Since they tried to do that little campaign. You know, I
Crazy amount
mean,
of money,
yeah. So I'm just trying to figure out. You know,
and they laid off a bunch of people there at a high
yeah.
level.
I'm just trying to figure out. Why. I mean, I get it. You try something new, right? But at the same time, with the whole alphabet soup group people, they. I mean, it's like they just doing shit just like everywhere. It's like a motherfucking virus or whatever, because
Well, it's
I was
like
watching
even like
I
in
was watching
units and
something.
stuff, when there's like a
Yeah,
change of command, it's like sometimes shit just doesn't work. It's like, oh, this is going to be amazing. And if it would have worked, they would have said, oh, you're brilliant. And who knows who got that position, that person in a position of power, and how that actually worked. And then when it all came falling down, it's like, well, heads got to roll. And then people say, oh, how could you do that? It's like, um, because it's a right to work state, it's a free country, and we own this fucking business. That's why.
yeah. So.
It's not
But
your
I,
right to work here. It's voluntary.
yeah, I just look at it now that you know anybody, anybody that's either about to have kids or have kids, and then they send them off to school, right? I'm just like, well, what's actually really gonna happen to them once they come back to the house? You know, I mean, because here it is, I got grandkids out there, you know, and I got one. Hell, once this school year is out, she'll be going into the the first grade, and then I got an 11-year-old,
Uh,
right? And she might will go ahead and say she's a preteen, right?
all right.
And so to like say, so the hormones are actually like really gonna start kicking in if they haven't already started kicking in, right? And then you trying to push this, you trying to push this agenda off on these kids. I mean, because I'm because at this point of the junction now, just like I say, here it is. Anybody that's say anywhere from the 30 to 50, anybody that's 30 years old and older, right? They probably looking at you like, okay, well, these people, they're already set in their ways, right? So it really won't do no good to actually like really target them, right? So it's like, okay, well, hey, let's go, let's go after the kids now, right? And even with some of these parents, I really don't get it. Like, okay, why would you, you know, just be like, well, hey, they're their own person. Yeah, that's true too. But you as parents, right? It's up to you to mold that child up to. You feel like this. If you have boys, then yeah, you raise them up to become men. If you have girls, you raise them up to become women. It's almost at the point now that if your child come up to you and be like, well, say, well, can I be this when I grow up? And then you almost got to be where, like, back in the day, you could say, well, you know what, you could be anything that you want to be when you grow up. You try saying that shit now, then it's you know it's almost like
You're
you're
playing
gonna
with fire.
you're gonna be
You're playing
gunned.
with fire.
Yeah. So
And you know what? You know who said it best? Smokey the Bear. Only you could prevent forest fire,
yep.
meaning the parent thing. And you know, I watch. I don't know if you saw the clips of these youth gangs. These were not mature individuals in Chicago causing complete chaos over the weekend.
Oh yeah, I saw that when they just down there, they just
And,
tearing up the
and you
city.
have one side of the people saying, "Where are the police? This is unacceptable." You have another side of the aisle saying, "Well, this is because they're repressed and you put them in a situation." What nobody said is, "Where the hell are their parents?"
Exactly.
So it's a longer
But
debate. I get it. It's more intricate, but at the same time, it's just when that generation has children, and as the country devolves, and as the international community evolves, I think it's the fall of Rome. And it just pains me to say that. Like, I do not take any pleasure in saying that whatsoever. It terrifies me, frankly.
yeah.
And it's just sort of just as a think tanker, it's just the way I war game it, it just doesn't. it's seeming not good.
Yeah, I mean, because I look at it like
The way
this.
it's going, it could be
Yeah,
changed, but the way it's going is not good.
yeah. I just look at it like this. Whenever child protective services start coming into existence, right? Then I think that actually really became the downfall of of how parents raise their kids. Now, I'm all for listen. I'm all for discipline a child. If they get out of hand, then yeah, you snatch their little ass back up, right? But don't do it to like such a degree where that
Yeah, don't abuse them. Correct
yeah,
them
yeah. So I mean because
appropriately. Yeah.
yeah, I mean because I can tell you right now, growing up, hell, my mama hit me with anything and everything possible. It was like whatever the hell was in arm's reach, right? But I mean here it is. I mean, was it wrong? Yeah, but shit, it happened. But hell, I like to think that I actually really turned out pretty good. You know,
Yeah.
uh,
Good point.
same thing
Could have
with
been worse.
my younger brother. Yeah, I mean, now my younger brother on the other hand, I mean he doing this. I mean he doing his thing. And I'm not gonna sit up here and act like really put a a stamp on success, right? But I will. Let's just look at it like this. I'm 50. He'll be 40 in October. So, uh, to actually like, whether is he retired like me? No, but like I say, I'm not finna like say, okay, that you have reached your goal, your success. I'm not gonna do that. But I'm just saying, hell, I got knocked on my ass by my mama and showed and he took his lumps as well. But I will say this much. I remember one time he called himself trying to call the motherfucking child protective services out to the house, right?
Mm.
And they actually like really came out to the house.
Oh
And
fuck.
and then my mama being the type of woman that she was, she said, "Oh, y'all want this little motherfucker? I'll go pack his suitcase, but I guarantee y'all be bringing him back inside of 24 hours because he ain't gonna listen to y'all neither." And then she just told him, I said, "Look, this is my child, right? If beating his ass is gonna keep him out of jail or keeping the cops from shooting at him, then damn it, that's what the hell I'm gonna do, right?"
Yeah.
And then she just told me, I said, "Now what y'all need to do is get up the fuck out of my house."
Exactly.
Yeah, and so that's what they did,
It's
right?
weird when you create. It's weird when you create a position like that. Because if you look at like shit, even in America, but probably 80% of the world, in Arab countries, in Asian countries, in African countries, probably in Russian countries, obviously, uh, that's normal.
Yeah,
You should. There's a fine line between disciplining and abusing. You shouldn't be because there is cases of abuse, but
yeah,
most of the time it's discipline. But when the
yeah,
kids get keen to that, when they get privy to that, they utilize it against you, and now you got a menace on your hands, and that becomes down the line a momentum you do not want to create. It creates a monster. They don't know. That's why you got to stop them. And it's like, okay, if I do a little bit of discipline now, I won't have to have the state and my community have to discipline them, or God forbid, be murdered or murder
yeah,
somebody else. And it's as soon as you give these people badges, it's like, first of all, What the fuck is this? You have no right to come in here and do that. Unless I'm doing something egregious and I'm breaking the law. Okay, well, this is child abuse. Is it? What is the definition? Who raised you? What is the exact definition? So it's like, I'm not advocating that. But if you look at some of these individuals in society that are causing problems, there was a
Yeah,
lack of that. And that becomes apparent.
yeah. So, so again, I just look at it like,
And but you could say, "Oh, I'm wrong," but culturally, where I come from, this is not even a conversation.
oh yeah,
You're gonna do what the parent says. So is the wife. So is everything.
yeah, so,
Oh,
but
that's wrong. You need to be able. That's great. That's great. How's Chicago look versus Dubai?
oh yeah, you know, I mean, it's just I don't know, just like say, like when I was over there, the two tours that I did over in Saudi, and they had I mean like the first one they had this thing what they call chop chop square, and so like if you committed a crime, right? Yeah, they chop your hand off, right?
Yeah,
You
good.
know, so uh, I mean, just like I said, everybody, every country got their way of, their laws
But
and
but but here's what people don't understand. You have that contrast, what you just said.
yeah,
Do you think it's appropriate for a franchisee of a CVS to allow individuals to come in and completely ruin his business, threaten his life, assault him, in some cases murder them, consistently go to work, be brutalized, and be stole from? That's the recipe. So they say, oh well, the alternative is chop chop square. Well, it's like, well, here's the thing about chop chop square.
uh,
It happens a lot less more than it does here.
oh yeah,
Um, do I think it should happen every time? I'm sure there's cases that are a little over the top, but it's to stop that. I never thought there'd be a day in America where this would be occurring. Okay, so these women wear a hijab. First of all, not all of them wear that. Number one, and number two. So what's better, that or twerking on a pole? If it was your
yeah.
granddaughter, what would you prefer?
Oh, she ain't gonna be on no damn pole. Like you can
Do you
just
get what I'm saying though?
yeah, yeah. I get you. I get it.
So it's
And
like it's a weird juxtaposition, like that dichotomy, that split, that fork in the road. It's like it should be somewhere in the middle. You should have freedom to do this, but when the brutality goes too far, it should be checked. And when the
yeah,
lawlessness goes too far, it should be checked as well.
yeah. I mean, because I've always looked at because you brought up these strippers swing on these poles and whatever, and I just wonder because some of them you know they got kids, right?
Yeah.
And I'm just like, so I'm almost like, when it's time to register your child for school,
No,
and they
God.
look at and they say like, okay, you got you as the parent or whatever, you I mean you got to get him your information. So I just want to know like, okay, what the fuck do you actually like really put down as your occupation? Do you actually really let
Enter,
the do you let
entertainer.
the people know that you strip, or you actually like do you lie about that shit? And then you almost got to look at yourself like, okay, what type of legacy are you gonna leave once you close your eyes for the very last time? Right? Because like for me, I can be like, okay, well, my family, they'll look at me and say, well, hey, you know what? He did 21 years in the United States Army. He wrote a book about his career. He did what he was supposed to do as far as like taking care of the family. Although, because my wife should tell you right now, yeah, I'm rough around the edges. But I just feel like this is something that I have to do this. because I know what's out there. I know what's out there in them damn streets. Ain't shit
Yeah.
out there in them damn streets, right? And to act like, because I want all of my grandkids to grow up and act like really be a success, especially my two granddaughters. I don't want them to think, because after a while, they're gonna be like, okay, well, what can I do to make this fast money? And then there you go going to the goddamn strip club. You
And
shouldn't.
another issue on top of that is at least the strip club was a physical thing. Now the way porn and OnlyFans and the online element is, it's so easy access. And back in the day, you had to physically go somewhere, make a real life decision. Now it's like, oh, ain't no big deal. It's just on the internet. And it's
Yeah,
like, um, yeah, but it is. And it's like, what's the big deal? It's just this. What's the big deal? Everyone, I could get the justification, but I'm telling you, in a few years from now, you are not gonna like this.
no, I mean
Or if you're
because
the type, or if you're a type of person that will be okay with it, you're not a great person. I just hate to tell you, sweetheart. Like it's just not. And I'm no, I'm not like a saint myself. Believe me, I've done several things, but through those things, luckily, I've made it out on the other side. I just think to myself, man, this is not good.
yeah,
The social media aspect of it, the porn, OnlyFans, online aspect, cam girls, all that stuff, quick money to become morally degraded is just, listen, if you want to get the tattoo, if you want to do the thing, if you want to do the thing on camera, if you want to get the paycheck, and because you're influenced by social media, that the money you generate gets you the bag, gets you the clout, gets you the vein, gets you the drip, gets you what you need in the culture. I have bad news for you. You're going to become mid 30s, and that sale is gonna ship.
yeah,
They say no, Zach. The ship's gonna sail. No, 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 no. The sail's gonna ship. That motherfucker's flying off in a hurricane. It's gonna
yeah,
come crashing down, and then you're just gonna be in the doldrums, looking around. Two baby daddies used to be a hoe. Used to have the clout. Used to have the money. Now they're looking for the younger one. And here you are saying, "Man, I had aspirations. I had this. I had that." You know, I think what's going to happen is some of these hoes. Excuse me for saying that. Some of these women who happen to be in that profession, when they get, because we're coming to an age where they're going to be in their 50s, like the real ones that like kind of caught the peak of this, caught the wave, have to start talking to them.
yeah,
But some of this younger generation, and this is coming from me, and like I prefaced, I'm no saint. It's going to be an issue.
yeah. I mean because
The Real Housewives, all this stuff. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? The reality shows, blah 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 blah.
yeah, because ain't no 401k in stripping. So
Yeah, there's
it's
just the
just
next one.
yeah. And so again, I just think a lot of it goes back to when when child abuse really became an issue, and then here it is, you got the state trying to tell you how to raise your kids, right? And I think a lot of the parents, right, they didn't want to they didn't want to run risk of going to jail or losing their job or whatever the case may be, right? I mean, but I just think like as parents, You know, they like I say, raise your child or raise your children the best way that you see fit, right? You know, and and let them know that, hey, look, my house, my rules, and guess what? It really ain't a damn thing that you can do about it, right? Now, if you feel like you can go out there and get it on your own, then hey, by all means, right? But it's just, I mean, from from the time that I was 18, it was like, okay, you really had to, okay, you go get your job or whatever. And and it's just for the simple fact, everybody was scared to join the armed forces back then, just like they are now, right? But I'm not saying, hey, look, I'm not saying, look, go do a 21-year career or a 30-year career like most people do. At least stay in there long enough to be like, hey, look, you can pick up a skill or whatever, and it's something that you can actually really put on your resume. So when you do go out and get a job, they can look at, oh, okay, well, I see you was in the army 5 years, blah 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 blah. You did this, and this, right?
and achieve a GI Bill and a VA home loan.
Yeah. So so I mean, because it was the same song that my dad was telling me, right? He said, look, because he told me, he said, look, ain't nobody tell you got to do 20 years like me, right? Just at least go and get some clout, that way when you become of age, you can have the stuff for your VA loans, you can go to school, all of this stuff, right? And at the time, I wasn't trying to hear it, but eventually, uh, when I turned 24, then yeah, I went down to the army recruiter, took the test, raised my hand, and then hey, the rest, as they say, is history. So
Thank God you did.
yeah, so but
No, I'm serious. And
yeah,
think about I would have been lost in the sauce in Korea. It's weird the way things work.
yeah. So
I
I
look
just
back on it sometimes and I say, damn, some of the shit was fucked up, but I would have traded. I would not trade it for the world, truly, because
yeah,
it happened the way it needed to happen.
yeah, because I did a post on my page. It was how sometimes they're like, well, this day in history, so I put on there, yeah, it was the 15th. I did it on April 15th. So I was like, okay, 26 years ago, I raised my right hand to serve this country. You know, had a blast doing it, met a lot of interesting people, and if I had the chance to go back to change it, I wouldn't change nothing about it. You know, so it's just but just like I said, hey, look, I get it. This ain't for everybody. You know, but at the same time, don't be so quick to turn to be like, oh well, if I climb up on this pole and if I shake my ass
Yeah.
hard enough, then yeah, here they come with the money or whatever. And just like I said, that's only gonna be so good for a while. Because by the time your ass get 30, right? Unless you in unless you in good shape, ain't nobody trying to look at you. Or it could be just for the simple fact the first time that they find out that your ass is 30 years old and you still out here swinging on the pole, then yeah, they gonna be looking at you like, the fuck are you doing? You 30 and you still out here. I'm like, go get a job somewhere.
Not only that, it's like I'm not going to go too deep into it, but I know a couple individuals who happen to be entertainers. We'll call it that. Back in the day, and the type of men that they're around, who let's put it this way, that enforce, we'll call it, or run the establishment. Let's just put it this way: they're not your best businessmen. It's generally crime, drug related,
Uh,
or sex trafficking,
yeah,
and you just don't skate by that. You get down or lay down, and people don't want to say that, but it's it's obvious, and man, it's a problem, quite frankly.
yeah,
But as somebody who's partaked in it a lot, I'm not gonna. I've really enjoyed myself at these establishments, and
yeah,
but as you mature and you think about it, you go, oh, when you meet younger
yeah,
people, you go, oh man, this is a little dicey.
yeah,
This is not just, oh, what's the big deal? It's like a bartender at Hooters. It's like, no, it's not. Actually,
yeah.
no, it's not.
I mean, because it's just like, you know, yeah, I did my, yeah, we was all in the army at one point, right? And then like one of my other homeboys, he came to visit me while I was still in Texas, and so we were just actually like talking about all the shit we did. I mean, yes, we was in the army. Yes, we was over there in Germany, right? And so, I mean, it was like a lot of the shit that we did. I mean, thank God that we didn't get caught. I mean,
Exactly.
and we was actually like really, and we actually really talked about it for like about an hour or so. And here it is. We were saying, hey, now look at us 20 years later, right? That, hey, look, we both went in, we served our country, and we got out in one piece, right? And not to say that we didn't have fun, because you tell me anybody that has served this country, regardless of branch, that they didn't go out and get so shit faced that they didn't know where the fuck they was at, or they went to the
And of
ship.
course you did. It's a rite
Yeah,
of passage
yeah,
within your unit, within your squadron, within whatever the fuck you got going on.
yeah,
It's a rite of passage, and there's levels to it. Nothing egregious, but it pushed the envelope. Let's put it that way. And it is a rite of
yeah,
passage. Just it happened to be the norm. It happened to be legal. It happened to be going on. Nowadays, with phones and everything else, the maybe the look back on it is like, wow, that was interesting. But at
yeah,
the time, it was completely culturally normal and accepted.
yeah. I mean, because it's just like when that last day, and I put it in the book. We get ready to graduate, and the battle commander, they talking to us, and then they were just like, okay, well, I got one more question for you. And he was like, look, it's off the record. Y'all have met the school requirements, so everybody gonna graduate. So he just asked, he like, how many of y'all went to war as? And I raised my hand. I raised my hand, right? And he said,
Good old El
so,
Paso, right
so he
across
was
the
like,
border.
yeah. So he was like, okay,
Yeah.
Private Harris, why did you go to war as? I said, because y'all told me not to go over there, right? Right. And so he was just like, okay, I don't get you. So I just told him, I said, sir, don't you know what you tell somebody, no, don't go over there? That just gonna make them go over there. They want to know, well, what is it over there that you don't want me to see?
Yeah.
Right. So, and so he was like, okay. He said, okay, there, Private Harris. I said, well, did you at least take a battle buddy with you? I said, yeah, I took all these guys back. so, and so they tried to, so they tried to fan my hand down. All the kind of like, look, we finna graduate. You know, I mean, why y'all so all uptight about this stuff? So, but that's just
What's crazy is when I went through AIT there in El Paso, Fort Bliss, it was like the cartels got so bad during that time period since you've been there. It
yeah,
was like They listen to this. And even the I'm not gonna put them on blast. I'm not gonna say that. Individuals who were there who were, let's just say, never mind, I shouldn't say that. People who worked with us there who happened to instruct were telling us like this and that. They put Jaguars on a blacklist,
Yeah, I
which
remember.
is like a local strip club, not a
Yeah.
strip club, a restaurant
Uh-huh.
where it was in a vicinity of clubs and certain, we'll call it nightlife. I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah.
That was apparently problematic. So it went from, it was very normal for people to cross the border, completely legal. It was right there. You could see it, by the way,
Yeah.
at nighttime. You could literally see it. And that was not even a possibility with all the cartel stuff. But
Yeah.
even within the inner city of El Paso, uh, there were certain spots that what do they call it, blacklist or
Yeah.
no
Yeah.
go or
Yeah.
something like
Restricted areas.
that.
Yeah.
Restricted, yeah. Like they give you
Yeah.
like a whole safety briefing before you go out on your little, whatever, 1.5
Yeah.
day leave before you have to come in and change your linen and go down to the basement. And you know, we had a good time, but El Paso was interesting. El Paso is a very interesting area because
Yeah.
it's like that's Mexico.
Uh,
That
but
is
yeah, but I was
Mexico.
glad to say it. Yeah. So I remember because like I know like every weekend when I was in AIT, just like I said, we would either go to we either go to Motel Six or Howard Johnson. Back then they used to call it Hojo's,
The
right? So
Hojo.
yeah, and we go up. So we line to go up there and we line to rent out a whole floor, and then
Yeah,
everybody going whatever the hell that you wanted to drink on that weekend. You went out and bought it. You came back, you partied or whatever. You went out to the club. A lot of us, we did the strip club. Sometimes we would go across the border. So
and they have a lot of strip clubs there. If
yeah,
people don't know, El
yeah,
Paso's like Tampa or Atlanta or Houston. They got strip clubs galore in there.
yeah. So that's what me and my homeboy were talking about, and I was just like, man, look, we did all of this shit, right? And we look back at it now, like, damn, we did that, but I'm just like, I'm looking at the simple fact now, okay, yeah, I did that. You couldn't pay me to do that shit now. Hell, I can't even
Oh,
drink like I
exactly.
used to. Yeah, I can't even drink like I used to
Oh,
30 years ago, right? So,
oh, it made
I
me
mean,
nervous. It would make me nervous as hell. I like to hang out in my backyard.
yeah,
I think back and I get anxiety. I'm like, oh damn, what was I
yeah,
doing?
yeah, yeah. I mean, but even without all of that, right?
No, for real. Like I was
Yeah,
doing some wild shit.
yeah. And just like I said, I know we did that when I was in Germany, right? And that was before they made it. Well, we didn't have no business doing it. And what was that? That what they call it, huffing, where you take the aerosol can and you just you know
Yeah, huffing
inhale it. Yeah, we would do that,
like
right?
like a CO2 canister
Yeah, yeah.
or
We
like a
used to do that.
keypad cleaner. Blah blah blah.
Yeah, we used to do that, and God forbid that none of us die behind that shit. And then
That shit's strong. It lasts
yeah,
about 30 seconds, but that will knock you on your ass.
yeah, and then come to find out
Is that what
that
they call it? Huffing, or is there a different? I feel
yeah, I
like
think
there's a
that's what it
different.
was. I think that's what it was. It might have been. They might have called it something else, but
Anyhow, it don't matter.
I know we did it, and just like I said, I mean, we would have contests to see who could hold that shit the longest.
Oh my god,
Yeah, I
who could,
because
who could kill the most brain cells?
yeah, so because we would be like, because I tell my wife this, and she said, well, what
So
did it
bad
do?
for you, by the way.
Yeah,
It's
I
so
just
bad
said,
for you.
yeah, it is. So I just said. well, what does it feel like? I said, well, just imagine you being a rubber band and somebody stretch your ass out, right? And then they pluck you. Because basically that's all it
That's a
did,
great definition, actually.
right? And then it would do your voice the
And he goes like
reverse.
this, wah, 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 wah.
Yeah. Because I mean, like for me, right, and for everybody else, it
Mhm.
it it made it did your voice the reverse of what helium does,
Yes,
right?
yes, exactly.
So
Yeah,
anyway,
yeah.
I think I held it for like about 20 seconds or whatever. And
Damn.
then my homeboy, yeah, and then my homeboy, he held that shit for like about, I want to say it was anywhere from between 35 and 45 seconds,
And we'd
right?
also say rest in peace to him. He was a great. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. And so he dropped the can, and
Oof.
then that motherfucker just fell over, right? And we thought he was dead. I mean, because we
That's
was
a
we was
long time.
yeah, we was slapping the shit out of him, right?
Yeah.
Trying to revive him, and then that was when the staff duty NCO would make the
Oh,
round,
of
right?
course. Right on
Yeah.
time.
And so uh right before uh I want to say Sergeant Bazemore, he was on, I think that was his name. Right before he knocked on the door, he come up out of that shit. And so we're like, so as soon as he come out, right, then we hear a knock on the door. Uh-oh, what the fuck? I'm sitting there talking, he then got out of there. Well, hopefully he'll come. Yeah, there he is. Yeah, I'm just sitting there. What happened?
Well, I don't think they like our. I don't think they like our little conversation. Maybe
Yeah,
we should move on to a different
yeah,
subject.
but just like I said, I gotta finish this up, but so I mean, it was like he knew something was going on because we were just all kind of like just how you done did something that you ain't got no business doing, and then somebody come knocking on your door, then you all like kind of hush about the shit or whatever.
Oh
And,
yeah.
and so he like, y'all sure y'all good? I'm like, yeah, man, look, we good, right? So uh so we went on and hey, we so soon as he left, it we were like, oh, uh we was trying to, he's like, how long was you out for? But he wasn't out that long, right? But it was just like he could have been out no more like about maybe 30 seconds. But that 30 seconds was like 5 minutes, you know.
That's a long time. People start to
Yeah,
panic.
uh-huh. And so yeah, but yeah, well, so we did all that shit, then like I said, we got out of it, and then here it is, I retired, I ain't gotta go out there and get it no more. You ain't gotta go out there and get it no more, right? So it's just uh I just look at it now and I'm just like, wow, okay. And so, but so then like I say, that, and then these motherfuckers that's out here that's swinging on these poles or whatever, or doing this fans only shit or whatever, only fans shit. I'm just like, okay, eventually you gonna fuck around, you gonna meet somebody, you gonna have kids, and so I'm just like, okay, well, again, what would your legacy look like? Uh, what would your legacy look like once once you're dead and gone? I mean, what what is it that your kids, your grandkids, whatever, what are they actually really gonna be able to say about you that you not gonna be embarrassed of saying it? Because They're like say some people they get in that shit and they never leave, right? Until they're actually like really forced to leave, right? So I did, that's just me. That's just how I look at it, and
Me too.
yeah. So I'm just like,
And we
okay,
okay. I'm gonna do the last segment because I'm about to go eat lunch here in a little bit.
okay,
The last 10 minutes of this, I want to call it burning desires, meaning like what is like on the tip of your tongue, something you've been thinking about that like you kind of want to rant on and discuss, and we'll kind of go 50-50 on it.
well, what my whole deal is this whole
And quite frankly, are you free tomorrow?
yeah, yeah. I mean,
I'm good for an hour tomorrow too.
yeah. So I'm looking at this whole deal
You like
as
that? You like that title or no? Burning desire.
yeah, that's good. That's good.
I always heard it like in VA groups, like would be like
Yeah,
PTSD group or some shit like that. They say, "Hey, does
uh-huh,
anybody have any last burning desires?"
yeah,
So I just stole it from her.
yeah. For me, right, I just wish that, a lot of these people, they just come out, you know, they just come out and just be like, okay, hey, look, we all know that this is bullshit. How about y'all just tell us that it's bullshit, right? And then everything will be good because just like this shit with Fox, they had to pay these people 788 million dollars because they feel like Fox lied on them about the 2020 election.
And
About the
if they
vote.
did, and if they didn't lie, they wouldn't pay that.
Yeah, is exactly.
So what
Because
the
I'm
fuck
just
is really going on?
yeah. So I'm just looking at the simple fact. Okay, so let me get this straight. So Dominion sues Fox because they feel like they lied on them on an election that, for the most part, they already knew who was going to win it in the first damn place. That just, I mean, I'm just like, okay,
Hell,
because,
they need to have Tucker Carlson run for president.
yeah, so, because, I was looking at it, because
How about a
as far,
Tucker Carlson Don Lemon kicker?
yeah, so I'm just like, as far as 2000, after Bill Clinton left, that election, that was fucked up, right?
Yeah.
Because the people that was overseas, they votes didn't get back in time, and then it just so happened that that particular election, it all came down to the state of Florida, and guess who was the damn governor back then? His damn
Good
brother,
old Jeb.
you
Good
know,
old Jeb.
right?
Low
So,
energy Jeb.
so, I mean, so they clowning about what somebody said, So I'm just like, okay, so, so this is what the fuck we do now, right? And then the shit with Donald Trump, right? They gonna get on to this man because he paid for some pussy, right? I'm like, well, shit. Tell me
Yes.
somebody that, listen. Tell me somebody that hasn't paid for it either directly or indirectly. Hell, that's the
Mhm.
case. You put
I'll agree with that.
everybody. You can put everybody in jail for that.
Everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you put everybody in jail for that shit. So
In jail. Unbelievable.
yeah.
She got
And
paid.
then
She got paid. She signed an agreement. Get the fuck
yeah.
out of here.
Yeah, and then now here they come with this other motherfucker, right?
And if he wanted to do it again, if none of this happened, she would have done it again.
Yeah. Shit, if I'm getting paid like that, then
That's her business model.
yeah.
Hey, hey, you work at Burger King. Get me a Whopper, bitch. I don't
So
do that anymore. Why are you at a Burger King? You think she first of all, she toured the country at these gentleman establishments,
yeah,
trolling as if I'm the president's mistress. I'm the Stormy Daniels. She marketed herself as that. She went on a run around the country.
Yep.
Do I think it's good? No. We discussed it earlier in the show. I think it's horrific. I wouldn't want my granddaughter to do it. I don't think it's a good thing. I think it should be stopped. Make no mistake, she did it.
Yeah.
She got paid. She signed a concrete contract. She took the money. She used the money, and
Yeah.
now she comes out of the woodwork to try to, I don't know what, throw a wrench in democracy of this country. Um, I I got some suggestions for you. Go fuck yourself. Excuse me. You've already
Yeah.
done that on camera for money, so probably wouldn't be too far fetched.
Yeah. And then the other guy, and then here comes somebody else.
That'll get me canceled. I don't give a
Yeah.
fuck.
And then here come this other woman claiming that Trump either tried to sexually assault her, something that happened back into the 90s. Also, okay, so now
Oh
you want to come,
Jesus
now
Christ!
he said, it was damn near 30 years ago. And then
Give
Trump
me a
himself
break.
said, oh, Trump, because Trump, he came out and said, she ain't my type, right? Uh, so again, I'm just like,
You
okay,
know what I would
y'all.
like to see? What Melania thinks. She knows what's up.
So yeah, so it's just, I don't know, man. So just like I said, I just wish that, people would just come out and say, hey, look, this is what it is because we choose it to be, we choose it to be this way, right? But don't try to put that shit off on me or on my family, especially the kids. Let the kids grow up to at least let them get to at least let them get to 18 years of age, right? And then once they become 18, then hey, look, it's okay. You be like, look, you know what? I have raised you, or I have raised y'all to the best of my ability, right?
You know what I feel bad for? The youngest
What's
one,
that?
Barron. I think he's in his teens now. Barron Trump, his son, who's the
Yeah.
son of Melania and Trump, their actual son. You know this
Uh,
motherfucker is 6'7"?
damn.
Have you seen this?
No, I haven't seen it. So
Look up.
but
His first name is Barron, like Red Baron or Robert Barron. Barron
okay,
Trump.
okay,
And you should see how he walks, moves, and talks. He is
uh,
his father's son. And it ain't no joke. And he is smart as a motherfucker. But to have your father, you have to think about this. He went through his adolescence with the whole country. My dad's going to jail. They're trying to kill him. Everyone hates him. It's not popular. I'm a teenager. Think about that.
yeah, hmm,
Let me tell you about him. Look out for that dude in about 25 years.
yeah. So
Have you
yeah,
seen him?
so no, I'm about to.
Look him up. Baron. Baron. Or is it Baron? How do you spell it?
Yeah, it's
I don't know
yeah.
how you. I don't. If he spells
It's
it
B
different or not.
A it's Barron. Yeah.
Okay. So like literally like Baron, like Robert Baron or Red Baron.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Oh, yeah. Yeah, he a
He's
big dude.
taller than Trump. Trump is 6'3".
Yeah. Yeah, he a big dude. He a big yeah. Yeah, he a big dude.
You see
Yep.
the way he's looking? He's looking like he's not like I don't want to be here. He's looking like let's do
Yep.
this.
Uh-huh. Oh yeah. So yeah. So yeah, but yeah, because stuff like that, that'll most definitely fuck with your psyche. The like say here it is,
Think about that for a kid though, because he must have
Yeah.
been. I think he's so 1, 2, 3, 4. Damn, he must have been 10, 11, like that
Yeah.
preteen age. It's like damn, and like all your friends are like, "What the f?"
Uh-huh.
I
So
wonder the Obama girls too. What do you think? Let's wrap it up on this. We got 4 more minutes. What do you?
uh
Well, Barron Trump is one thing. What do you think about the Obama girls? Like, first of all, he's been in hiding.
Yeah,
Hussein has been in hiding. But I mean, what do they do?
I think both of them are in college right now, but I don't.
You think they
You know
become
that.
politicians, or they just do something else?
Yeah, well,
They seem like nice girls when I've heard them speak and stuff. I'll be honest.
I mean, but the thing about that, to I think they just should just do their own thing. I mean, because I look at it like this: if they try to get into politics, then it's gonna be like, okay, are people actually like really gonna? I mean, if they get into politics, right? Say they run for whatever office, and so now you got to ask yourself, okay, and they fuck around and win. Now the question becomes like, okay, did they win on their own, or did they win because of what or who the hell they did is, right? Because the governor of Arkansas right now, I'll be the first one to tell you. I think the only reason why she won is because her daddy was governor for like 20 some odd years.
Uh,
And everybody here in Arkansas is saying it like, they was like, look, she she rode the coattail of her father's name, and that's the only reason why
uh,
she's in office, right? I
mm.
mean, now, great the fact, some of the stuff what she's doing, I'm like, okay, all right, well, that's pretty good and all that kind of stuff, but I'm just looking at the simple fact, okay, do you win on your own, or do you win because of who your parents are, right? It be all the same thing. Say like if I was to have a son, which I do, but I'm just saying like if he carried the same last name that I carry, right, and then he goes in the army or whatever, and then and then they were like, okay, well,
Yeah, I know where you're
they'll be
going.
like, Curtis Harris is my father, right?
Name
And,
dropping.
yeah, and so it'd be like, okay,
Mm.
so and then say he becomes a success, he do 20 plus, and say he end up when he retired, he end up being sergeant major or whatever, right? And so my whole deal is, okay, how much of that did you? People are gonna be saying, how much of that did he actually like really get on his own, considering who his father is, right?
It's weird. I think they call it like affluenza, meaning like people who have really. So in this case, there's not. I don't want to call it clout, but like there's social credit
Yeah,
based in the community that you're in, no matter what it is. But
yeah,
like, there's been court cases like presided over where it was because they were so rich they did not understand the consequences, which obviously that could be misinterpreted. But
yeah,
in the same way, there's social credit. And we'll leave it right there at the 1400 mark, 1300 your time.
yeah.
Um, hey, tomorrow we need to get into the fall of Rome
Oh yeah,
because we're just shooting the shit. These things need to go longer.
oh yeah, most definitely, right?
Tomorrow, let me think tomorrow. No, I'm clear tomorrow. We can do like 2 hours tomorrow.
Okay, yeah, that'd be fine. That'd be all
What
right with
time?
me.
Same time?
Yeah, yeah, same time, 12 o'clock.
That's beautiful. Let's do that. And I'll be checking out the text, checking out everything. Oh, and we got to discuss the movie too, because that was tremendous. That
Yeah,
was a tremendous, tremendous thing.
yeah, yeah. That's why I wanted you to watch it because 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 we
That's
what
funny
we're
as
gonna be
hell.
talking about tomorrow. So yeah, I really
Yeah,
want you to watch that. So yeah,
the fall tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen, the fall of Rome.
yeah, that'll be the title.
Beautiful, brother. All
All
right,
right,
bro.
man. I'll talk to you.
All right, peace.
Yep. All right, y'all. Another show in the books, right? And just like what he said, tomorrow we're gonna be back on here we actually really going to talk about the fall of Rome because, hey, everybody, you go back, do your history or whatever, you know how powerful Rome once was, and then what happens, the same thing that happened in Rome, right, is what's happening now, So, hey, so just make sure y'all tune in for tomorrow's show. So, with that being said, hey, guess what? Guess what y'all get to do? Tell your mama, tell your daddy, tell your dad, tell Big Bertha, your uncle, your auntie, your grandma, your papa, motherfucker next door across the street around the corner. Paulus Harris, aka the Crazy Uncle. Till tomorrow, y'all.